And we've got Cody as well. Well, g'day everyone. Thanks for joining us here on the north side this morning, and hello to everyone who might be watching live on Facebook. Some good news for Queenslanders today in relation to our COVID cases. 7 new cases, but all overseas acquired cases. So no community transmission in Queensland again, which is great news. I'm so pleased to be here today with my parliamentary colleagues, the Minister for Small Business, Employment, Skills and Training, Di Farmer, the local state member for Nudgee, Leanne Linnard, who's also one of our ministerial colleagues, Phil Reeves, who's the Executive Chair of the Active Queenslanders Industry Alliance, and some great young Queenslanders who have benefited so much from our flagship Skilling Queenslanders for Work program. The budget next 4 years, our government will be committing almost $500 million to support our flagship skills and training program. That will be $460 million that we will commit over 4 years. $320 million of that will be supporting our Skilling Queenslanders for Work program, and $140 million will support our Back to Work program. Since we launched those flagship employment, skills and training programs in 2015 when we were elected, they've helped 60,000 Queenslanders secure work in our state. And given that we have created almost a little bit over 300,000 jobs since we were elected, it just shows you the importance of those programs. We're also going to be locking in funding for those programs over the next 4 years. So the great businesses, the great community organisations that help support Queenslanders that funding into the base of the Queensland budget ongoing. So that means the funding for Skilling Queenslanders for Work will continue beyond the next 4 years. Of course, COVID has changed so much about Queensland and so much about our world. But what we're seeing now in our economy is this. Queenslanders who've followed the health advice are now seeing an economy that is surging back to life. And who would have thought a year ago, since I became the Treasurer, a little bit longer since the pandemic started, who would have thought we'd have labour shortages in Queensland? And that's the challenge now. We've got some labour shortages now appearing in industries and in some communities around Queensland, which is why these employment programs, skills and training programs, are so important, because they're helping us bridge the gap for those industries and communities. Can I say in conclusion, this budget will be about setting Queensland up for the future. We'll be providing the skills that Queenslanders need to get the work of the future. We'll also be supporting those industries that have done so much great work to strengthen the Queensland economy, industries old and new. But most importantly, this will be about skilling Queenslanders and making sure we can get them back to work.
Thanks, Chairman. It is fantastic to see a $460 million commitment to our flagship employment and training program, Skilling Queenslanders for Work and Back to Work. This is a commitment to making sure that every Queenslander, no matter who you are, gets the right training for the jobs that are available now and in the future. And employers are telling us right across the state, as they recover from COVID, that getting staff is the #1 concern for them. In fact, getting staff, including staff with the right skills, is what people in every single region and every single sector have been saying to us over the last 6 months. We know that for some people it is always going to be hard to get a job unless you get that extra help. And Skilling Queenslanders for Work and Back to Work is about just that. It provides a hand up to those people who often fall out of the reach of the traditional employment agencies. And that includes people who've been unemployed for a long time and simply can't get over the hump. And of course, we all want our young people to be able to take up every opportunity they can for employment. So these programs, what's important to know about them is that they actually work. Skilling Queenslanders for Work has helped 36,000 people get into jobs since we first put it in place, again in 2015, and with 73% of people who take part either going into further training or getting jobs, it is actually the most successful program of its kind in Australia, which is why we've made it permanent. Back to Work has helped 25,000 people into work and helped literally thousands of businesses expand their workforce. And in fact, 80% of the Back to Work employers are small businesses. They're saying to us they need those skilled workers right now. And the new program will provide wraparound support to make sure they not only get those workers, but they keep them as well. Everyone deserves a job, and Queensland needs those people in those jobs. And that's what this commitment is about.
Thanks. Next to me. Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited to have the Queensland Treasurer and Minister for Employment and Skills here in my electorate of Nudgee. I'm standing beside the President of North Star Football Club, Jason, and so exciting that you could launch this announcement here, because this club has had the significant benefit of having Skilling Queenslanders for Work programs delivered here. And while the benefit is to those individuals who are part of that program, who get the opportunity to gain the skills and the training and the confidence to give it a go, to get into the workforce, it also benefits our community clubs when these partnerships occur. This club here has undergone such a transformation of facilities which benefits every member of this club and those who come here, which otherwise you would not have been able to afford to deliver, would you, Jason?
No, definitely not. Not only the club but the local community see all the changes here, and we're lucky enough, this is the second time we've had you guys through, so we're loving it, just loving it. Yeah.
Thank you. So can I formally thank the Treasurer and the Minister and really just acknowledge that this incredible investment is about people, it's about Queenslanders getting back into work who otherwise wouldn't have had the opportunity, and I'm grateful that we're not only showing the commitment to continue to invest in the program but to make it a permanent program because it works. Thank you. Thanks, Jason.
Phil Reeves, Executive Chair of the Active Queenslanders Industry Alliance. Look, we would like to congratulate the government for committing a further $80 million a year for these projects. As you heard, these projects not only help people to get job ready, and I'll show you an example very shortly, but also assist community groups in improving their facilities, e.g. like we are here at North Star, to be able to make it more accessible for people to get involved in a chosen sport and chosen recreation activity. So thank you to the government for doing that, and we really appreciate it. One of our success stories is Cody. Cody would like to come forward. Cody worked on our previous project based at Bowen Hills at Perry Park, and Cody came here to came to this project to get job ready. And Cody, just tell the people about your story.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Cody Weaver. As Phil mentioned before, I was in the Bowen Hills project. I was in the AQIA traineeship for 6 months, and only 1 month that I waited to then secure a 4-year contract. Over that time, I had the tool knowledge. I understood how framing worked and how to build walls and how to build roofing and things like that. I learnt the skills over 6 months that I never thought I would have learnt in that time. So to be able to learn underneath the best and be successful afterwards has truly just changed my life for the better. So thank you so much.
Just while we're there, just to further explain that, did you then go on to do an apprenticeship? How exactly did it work for you?
That's exactly right. So after the 6 months training, I then went and signed a 4-year contract with Metro Security. So it was only a month after I graduated from the training that I was then signing my 4-year contract.
And how was life prior to doing the training? Were you long-term unemployed?
It was a little bit difficult. It was. I got into the traineeship to find out what trade I wanted to do. So during those 6 months, I really got a concept for what I wanted to do, and I really grasped it and went with it. So, I'm a security systems technician. So as Phil has joked about before, I was on Centrelink, and now I'm working for him. So, so thank you very much. Yeah, Weaver, W-E-A-V for Victor, E-R.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
And where are you from?
I am from Cairns originally. Yes.
What a great story.
Thank you very much.
Well, we wish Cody all the best. Great to see a young person making a great success of his training and looking forward to a big career in the future. Happy to take any questions on that or anything else.
Cameron, obviously you're handing down your budget this week. Your second since taking stewardship of the Treasury. Can you tell us, obviously you're expecting a better deficit than you were originally looking at. What will it be?
Well, I can't take all the fun away today, Shannon. You only have 52 hours to wait. 2 o'clock Tuesday, tune in. But look, when I handed down the budget last year in December, extraordinary circumstances last year leading to 2 budgets within broadly 6 months, I predicted that the deficit for Queensland in 2019-20 and 2020-21 would be the 2 largest in Queensland history. Now, the deficit in 19-20 will still be significant, but thanks to the rebound in Queensland economy, thanks to Queenslanders taking the health advice, obeying the health advice, we're seeing our economy coming back, we're seeing jobs come back, we're seeing economic growth happening across the state, which means the deficit this year will be lower.
You're seeing economic growth of 3.25%, that's 13 times better than you originally forecast. Are you pinning too much of your hopes on the dwelling industry, new dwellings?
Well, clearly we've had a strong response in our economy to household construction, but also consumer spending is happening across the state. So householders now see a confident future in our state, and that's why they're now spending more. And that's great for the economy. It's supporting jobs, it's supporting economic activity. Of course, we still have a long way to go. We still have a long way to go to get out of the woods that COVID has created for us, some significant challenges. But I think Queenslanders can take this to heart. The strong health response we've had as a state is now delivering a dividend for them, and I'll be talking more about that on Tuesday.
In terms of jobs, what will the new forecast unemployment rate be for next financial year?
I won't have long to wait, Jack. I'll be revealing all of our employment data on Tuesday.
How much do you think getting the Olympics will play into continued economic growth over the coming year? Have you factored that in your budget forecast?
Well, look, I'll speak broadly about the Olympics. The Olympics, of course, is something that we can all look forward to. We're right on the cusp now of securing the biggest sporting event, in fact the biggest event in the world for our home state of Queensland. And that says, will say so many things to Queenslanders. Investment in infrastructure, a future jobs pipeline, but also something that all Queenslanders, particularly young Queenslanders, can look forward to and can aspire to. We've got a great junior club here, where a lot of kids will be running around and they'll be seeing their heroes playing not too long in the future at the Olympics in Tokyo, and it's something they can aspire to in their own backyard, and what a great thing for Queenslanders wherever they live. So at multiple levels, the Olympics represents a vision for our state, where we're headed over the next decade. We've still got to get the Games, that still has to happen, and we're working so hard as a government to do that, but we're on the cusp of victory, and we're so looking forward to that meeting in July to see if we can be successful as a state.
If we do get the Games, how much do you think that will encourage even more people to move to Queensland? And do you factor that into your budget?
Yeah, look, growth figures, of course, are being factored in. We know from the federal budget this year, about 30,000 people came to Queensland last year, net interstate migration, and over the next 4 years, we're going to have about 85,000 people come to Queensland, and that's leading the country. But we are a lifestyle superpower. You look at a beautiful winter's day like today, it's a magnificent day in Queensland, and people now see that we are not only a sunny and optimistic state, a smart state, we are a safe state. They know this is a great place to live, that your health will be protected, that it's a great place to bring up a family, but it's also a great place for businesses to invest and to grow their companies. And when you look at those measures, that's a great thing for our state, and that provides so much potential for our state for the future.
Can you rule out any new taxes, fees and charges in this upcoming budget?
We'll be delivering on our election commitment, and that will remain locked in for our budget this year.
Public fees and charges?
We'll be delivering on our election commitment, and I've already announced an increase, the lowest increase in fees and charges, 1.7%. That's the lowest increase for a decade in Queensland. That was announced some weeks ago. So we're keeping the cost of living down, the pressure down on cost of living for Queensland families as they recover from COVID too.
Just remind me, what was that commitment?
No increases in, no new or increased taxes in Queensland over this parliamentary term, and we'll be delivering that.
Can you rule out any increases in fees and charges, though?
I've already announced an increase of 1.7%.
Sorry, any new fees and charges? Sorry, rule out any new fees and charges.
I'm not playing that game with you, Jack. You always do that in the Courier Mail, because if you don't respond, you go, the Minister refused to respond. That's what you do. But I can assure you what we did last year in the budget, we made that very clear.
You forecast in December unemployment to drop to 6.5% in the following 2 years. Do you think it'll go even lower than that?
Look, we're seeing some great employment growth in Queensland. That's just the reality. And as the Minister for Employment has just announced, or has been talking about for some time, we're now seeing labour force constraints. So we're up for that challenge. That's why we're investing almost $500 million over the next 4 years. And we'll see some positive employment data that I'll release next Tuesday, and I think Queenslanders will be confident in the direction we're heading when it comes to creating employment in Queensland.
Will the public service hiring freeze continue next financial year?
Won't have long to wait, Jack. 2 o'clock Tuesday.
Of the foreshadowed $3 billion in savings that you announced in, I think, July last year, how much have you saved this financial year?
Set your alarm, Jack. 2 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. I'll be revealing those details for all of Queensland. But we are heading in the right direction when it comes to our savings target. But we're also continuing to spend to support Queensland at a time of difficulty and to support Queenslanders who need work. That's our number one priority, a budget for jobs.
You promised to limit printing of glossy publications to those focused on creating jobs. How much money did that save this financial year?
Won't have long to wait, Jack. About 52 hours, and then I'll be revealing that for you and all of the Queensland population.
Will the budget papers actually say that?
Oh, well, Jack, the budget papers say a lot of things. I think we're up to 200 pages already for budget paper 2, so there'll be plenty of reading there for you and other interested Queenslanders.
Final question from me. You are looking at a total debt of $130 billion by 2023. Is that being reined in a bit?
We'll see an improvement in our deficit position, and of course as your budget position improves, as your deficits reduce, that means the need for increased borrowing also reduces, and so that will be a good thing for our budget, and it will be, more importantly, a good thing for Queenslanders. So I'll reveal all of those borrowing details in the budget on Tuesday.
How much is the public service hiring freeze saved for government?
Won't be long to go, Jack. Just hold on. I know you're so interested, but 2 o'clock Tuesday I'll be releasing those details. And you know, as you can imagine, that's the appropriate time for me to do that. I'll be releasing those details on Tuesday as I hand down the budget.
Minister, back onto the topic of sport. We've seen obviously last week 28,000 at State of Origin in Townsville, but last night we've had, or the night before, sorry, we've had a music venue on the Sunny Coast shut down. So is there support for the live music industry, or what is the government going to do about, you know, these venues that probably will continue to get shut down with these COVID restrictions?
Well, let me say there is a slight difference between music venues, often indoor venues, and outdoor sporting events where, of course, it's a different environment, particularly for the virus. But we've done a lot to support the live music industry, and I'll have more to say, can I just add, around support for the live music industry on Tuesday. In relation to the Sunshine Coast, I know Queensland Health has been working very closely with that business over a period of time, over some months, to try and support them. And of course, these rules are there for all Queenslanders. We need to have COVID-safe rules to protect all Queenslanders. It's a difficult time and we understand that and we acknowledge that. But our number one priority as a government is to keep Queenslanders safe, to protect them from the virus, and by doing that we can help create jobs, we can see our economy coming back, we can see our economy rebounding, and that again is a dividend and a benefit for all Queenslanders.
It's simply a case of this venue not following its COVID-safe plan, repeated, I guess, abuse of that COVID-safe plan?
Look, I'll let the Chief Health Officer, Dr Young, go into the details of that, or the Health Minister, but I can say we have been working closely with that venue operator to try and help them and support them, and as we do for all businesses who develop COVID-safe plans to make sure they can continue to operate as businesses, and we've done that since the pandemic started. All right, thanks for coming along. Yeah, sure. Come in, Jason. Just straight ahead.
Sorry, yeah. Well, look, this club, as Leanne had indicated, has been regrowing now for some years, both numbers and also competitiveness. So the more we go up the ladder, more requirements there are for football to deliver football under certain rules and regulations. Every little bit and bob that these guys have been delivering here has been helping both that side of things, but also with the community. So we have well over 600 families that come down and use the facilities Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So pretty much 7 days a week, or 7 evenings, mornings, lunchtimes. There's so many games, there's so many people catching up, having cups of coffees and just making use of all the facilities. So not sure what more I can say. It's really appreciated. Sorry? Well, there's lots of things. We're still doing locking up for our goals to secure them, because we have some challenges in this area. We've got a brand new referees room, which is a massive project that they're delivering. That's going to help us try and make a step towards having both male and female referee rooms, which is a big plus for us. We try and encourage the girls to get into this sport, both on the field and refereeing. So that one there is a big one, and we can't wait for that one to be delivered. There's so many, it's really hard to recall them, but there are so many that are really important. Yeah, just struggling to. Yeah, meeting rooms, refresh seating, yes. Yes, audio-visual equipment up on walls.
Is this stuff that you would have not otherwise been able to afford yourself? Like, is this program paying for you? You're basically having this donated?
We provide input in terms of funding for materials, and the guys come along and build what we need built, or fix what we need fixed.
So this covers the labour component?
No, the material. Oh, sorry, the program does. Yeah, and we chip in with some of the materials and some of the equipment. I think they deliver some equipment as well to help us actually deliver this. So.
We provide equipment and materials. Yeah.
Right, there you go.
Yeah, and they provide the labour. Yeah.
Are you happy with all it?
Oh, how big's my smile on my face? I'm loving it. And again, like I said earlier, this isn't the first time we were graced to have the team here. 2019, I think, might have been a couple of years ago, and again, a lot was delivered through there. Just the entire place has been painted, blue and white, which is the North Star colours, and it's all been refreshed. There's seating out there that's been improved. There's a stand that's been put up there so people can get a view of all the sports happening on the main field. Fencing's been repaired. Oh my God, there's so many things. It's really hard to recall them all. I'm so sorry.
And we'll put you on the list for 2030.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and if you didn't hear it, I'll see you at 2 o'clock Tuesday. Okay?
Jason, what's your
Yeah, you want to get any footage of